Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone and welcome to This Is Football. Welcome to another special edition stream. Ladies and gentlemen, big up to you guys. We're here to talk transfers, ladies and gentlemen. So, big six clubs, their transfer windows. This is exactly what we're here to discuss today. We've got the Spurs transfer window, the Liverpool transfer window, the Arsenal transfer window. All of these transfer windows are here to be discussed today, ladies and gentlemen. So everyone watching us right now or on the replay, because I know a whole lot of you guys like to watch us on the replay, please don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're ready to do so. Everyone right now, please like, subscribe. Keep letting me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Keep getting involved in the comment section, my lovely people. And let's get this party started. Guys, the 220 is literally not even from it's literally from like an ITK, like behave. Anyway, let me introduce today's panel. First of all, making his return to This Is Football. After he got money to hit 1K, he's too big for us now. So it's like, you know, he's now achieved celebrity status. Every time I ask him to come on, he gives me some excuse. Oh, I'm too busy. I'm speaking to Expressions today. I'm speaking to Sky Sports today. I don't have time for you, Hussam. So joining me on the channel, of course, is the celebrity of Tottenham Hotspur, ladies and gentlemen, man like Alan. How you doing, Alan, man? You can't even deny what I just said.
I'm good. I can deny what you just said because it was an absolute load of BS. But I, when you've asked me to come on in recent weeks, I've been busy or not been able to. But like I said, when I can, I'm here for you, Hussam. So I'm here. It's all good. We're happy. Let's move. But no, I don't just turn my back on you. I'm here for you. It's all good. Don't cry.
So you're just lying publicly?
Yeah, pretty much.
Can you tell the people the truth, or are you going to continue to lie?
I just basically said it. I said the truth.
Joining us on the channel as well, speaking of celebrities, is a man that now, you know, we have to speak to his agent to get him on This Is Football. Because he's been quite busy with all the tactical analysis of Arsenal Football Club. You know, our favorite tactical, ladies and gentlemen. The guy himself is here to analyze the X's and Y's of the Arsenal transfer window. And we're here to discuss it, folks. So, big up to the chat. Make sure you welcome back the man himself. Man like Karan is in the building. How you doing, Karan, man? I didn't even add him. I bottled the ad. Did I add him? I added him. Hello, Karan. No, I added them without removing. What?
Yeah, there you go.
Hello.
There
Karan,
you
sorry.
go. There he is. There he is. Man's an agent, you know. You know how available I am for Sam. I had to message him for the StreamYard. This guy is 10 minutes before the stream, waiting for the StreamYard. No StreamYard in sight. I'm just agent, he says. I have to get hold of him, not the other way around. It's ridiculous. But
you know what's the funny part? I was like, he messaged me. He's like, you know, you're supposed to send me the StreamYard. I'm like, you know what? That's a valid point. I don't know why I haven't sent the StreamYard yet. But we out here, innit? We out here.
No, but I'm good. I'm still watching back that goal, to be honest. So I'm very happy right now. So international break, United in the mud, it's all fun. So yeah, good to see you. Good to see Alan. I haven't seen Alan in a while. It's been, I think, a year since I've been on the terrace. So it is good to see you, Alan.
That's good to see you too.
And yeah, all good to see. Good, all good.
All good. Speaking of not seeing a guy in a year, I haven't seen this guy in like 3 days. Actually, 3 days, that's a lie. 2 days. I haven't seen this guy in 2 days. So it's been a really long time since I've seen him. Joining us on the channel is the man that is here to explain all his summer surfing. As Chelsea fan, he's here to explain that £1 billion, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, man like Winter Surfer is here. How are you doing, Surfer?
I'm fine. My tolerance level for tonight is very low because of your horrible American accent, and also the lack of likes in the chat from these freeloaders. So it's nearly 200 here, and there's not even over 100 likes. So stop making me call you freeloaders in the chat and press the like button, please. But I'm pleased to be here, Sam. As long as you don't do the American accent, that'd be fine.
He slipped it in the intro as well.
I heard it. It was terrible.
No, don't. Just don't do it.
Just don't.
We'll survive without it. Don't worry. Hassan.
Yeah, just the rest.
Speaking of Americans, joining us on the channel is like my favorite
Here we
American.
go.
He's like American Arab, so he's like ethnic American. He's not like, his name's not like Michael. His name's not like, his name's not like Andrew. His name's actually Staffy, and he's here representing Manchester United. Not like Staffy's here. How you doing, Staffy, man?
The fucking goat is here. That's who's
Here we
here.
go. Here we go.
Who's the
I'm
goat?
the goat. Did you not see this?
Here we go.
So you're calling yourself the goat?
I'm self-proclaiming myself as the goat. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
That's very humble of you, bro.
after Andrew. But listen, man. Listen. Yes, I'm very humble. Like you are humble. You know when Hamza says he's humble? That's my level
Oh,
of humbleness.
God.
I'm a very humble guy. Don't compare me to Hamza.
You know who- you know who-
Yeah,
who's the
let's
goat,
not
Hassan?
start the show off lies. Let
You know,
me
it's
just.
the goat though, Sam. The goat is Johnny Evans. Thanks for the prize. It's been
Anyways, Curran, I'll get to you in a minute because I haven't seen you in a while, but you're not starting off the right way. I just wanted to say thank you for having me. Thank you to everyone who's here, who's watching us, obviously the panelists. Thank you, Hassan, for inviting me. And let's get this show started. Also, please, guys, I'm 11 subs away from 700. So let's make sure you get me there. Look at this guy. He says he's humble, but he doesn't want to at least give me some publicity. I'm here giving
I'm
him free
brushing my
work.
hair. I'm
Now
doing
you go
this.
like, what with the Machin and whatever. But when I do
Can
that,
I
you're
not
like,
do this?
Stavi is a diva.
Literally brushing my
Stavi's-
hair.
Stavi's always bitching. Stavi with Machin. Stavi this. Stavi
I'm
that.
literally
You know,
brushing my hair, Staffy. You're being dramatic.
listen, this is why Andrew
Here, I'll
is,
put you
is-
next
is-
to me. I'll put you next to me.
This is why Andrew is amazing. Andrew's the realest one on this panel right now. So big up to Andrew. Hassan, you should aspire to be like Andrew one day. But
How am I
regardless of
getting I'm
that,
not real just because I'm brushing my hair?
like the video, everyone. Stop interrupting me. Make sure you like the video. I don't know how many people are watching right now, but everyone like the video.
200?
And halas. So let's be at 200 likes. That's my standard.
Right.
200 people watching, 200 likes. And come on, 11 of these 200 definitely didn't subscribe. So subscribe to me and let's get the show started.
Yes, sir. And since Staffy wants to be a big mouth, I think me and the panel would like if we actually start with Manchester United's transfer window, since he wants to be, Billy Big Bollocks over here. Before we do that, big up to man like Waves, who says 220 million pounds. Yes, Hussam, start crying. I've got nothing to cry about, my brother. This is this hasn't even been confirmed by anyone notable. This is some ITK made up shit, so I'm gonna react to that. Big up to BIG, who says, Staffy, man, you got cooked. I'm talking spicy garnacho chicken with some Bruno bread and some Onana added to wash it down. Sobo greater than Mount, Kais, Havertz, and Lavia. Damn, BIG. Those are strong statements right there. I'm here for it. I'm here.
First of all, BIG, that was very corny. That's that's the corniest super chat I've seen in a while. Secondly, you're talking to me as if I didn't know we would get cooked anyways. As if I didn't come on the channel yesterday and talk about us getting cooked and calling out everything that's wrong with this team. So I don't know. I think you're mixing me up with Ozzy. So when you see Ozzy come at him with this comment, to me, just leave me alone, bro, because I didn't say anything. But big up, though. Big up, and thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, keep them corny super chats coming. So anyway, Manchester United transfer window. That's where we're going to start. Staffy, the floor is yours. What are you saying on your transfer window overall?
How are we doing this? Are we mentioning players or are we just mentioning teams? Because I thought he was going to go in detail. You just want to talk about the team in general?
Yeah, of course, go in detail. But I'm saying we start with your club, yani, Arif.
Okay, I thought we were
so we start with your club, then maybe we go to Arsenal, then Liverpool, then Chelsea. So we just speak about the transfer window overall, including the players, akid, yani.
Okay, I'm gonna add context to everything. First of all,
before you go, big up David, who says like and share the video, guys. Like literally, Hassam, please keep doing the Cali accent. It is too funny. By the way, Man City and Arsenal had the best in the world, and Liverpool and Man United had the worst
transfer window.
Transfer window. Yeah, not
transfer window. I agree. Me and Man United had the worst transfer window. But go ahead, Safi. The floor is yours.
Horrible accent as usual. Stick to the Fabi one.
Why are you hating?
I'm just Habibi, I'm just telling you the truth. Anyways. You know, Andrew, when your parents just know better and they're telling you, no, you should do this, you should do that. I'm kind of just giving them guidance, you know, like this is what you should do. Stick to what you know.
You're
But
not my
listen,
dad.
Okay. You're not my dad.
He loves
Ugly
saying
ass
that.
noodle head.
But listen, I'm
Let's
gonna
start,
start by
let's start.
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead,
start
yeah.
by rating the transfer window, and I'm gonna be very honest. I think it's a below average window. Calling it a bang average window, I thought was too generous. I'm not gonna give a number because I don't know what the number would be. I'll probably give it a 4. You know, first of all, I don't think we addressed all our issues. We still to be honest, we still need a striker. I know we got Hoyland and he looked decent yesterday in the 20-minute cameo, but yet again, he's a 20-year-old. So I think we still needed another striker in this team. We needed another midfielder. We 100% needed a center back, whether he starts in head of Varane or he backs up Varane. We definitely needed a right center back. The only thing that I think we had addressed very well was the goalkeeper. I think we got one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and we've seen it yesterday. And I think even Curran can put his shamelessness for a moment and even tell you that, listen, a big part of how United looked half decent yesterday was down to the goalkeeper. You know, I know you're a tactical man. You like to talk about tactics, and you know we wouldn't even play it half as good as we did yesterday.
You
Not
wouldn't
saying
have
that we
been on the
played good.
pitch without Onana.
100%. See, this is all I wanted to hear from you. Big up to you, Karen. This is why I like
No. I mean, shamelessness aside.
First
I mean,
of all, don't talk to Karan like he's
I'm-
shameless. He's the least
I'm not-
shameless person on this panel.
I mean, he attacked me about Evans, so that
No,
was a shameless
come on, that's a
moment.
joke. That's
No,
hardly.
that's what I'm saying.
literally a
That
joke.
is the
That's
shameless.
hardly an
literally
attack.
a
Come
joke.
on.
Okay, so that's what I'm
it's
saying.
not an
Banter
attack,
aside, you can admit that.
Banter
And-
aside, yes, but
yes,
not
maybe
an-
that's the
it-
better word. Okay, so
but,
banter
yeah.
aside, you can admit that, which you did already.
Yeah, of course. If we're talking yesterday, look, without Onana, right, you can't keep the pitch in the first third. Like
100%.
De Gea just boots and you lose consistently. Like
100%.
you don't build play at all. So
And you would be pressing. The reason you didn't press us in times yesterday in the game was because you know if you tried to split the lines between Onana and one of the defenders, actually there was one pass that I absolutely loved. He tried to cut the passing lane, and Ketia tried to cut the passing lane between Lissandro and the goalkeeper. And you know when they do that curved run, you know that bent run,
the J run,
he still passed it around him to Martinez because he's trying to block that lane, and then you had Odegaard and Havertz going to the only option right now, which is the right hand side. And Ronaldo was like, "No, I'll still pass it," and he kind of went a little bit to his right and still picked up the pass. Absolutely amazing. He had, by the way, the most ball progressions in that United team yesterday. He was third on the pitch in terms of ball progression. Only Saliba and Rice progressed the ball more than him. And that's a goalkeeper that I'm talking about.
By the way, I'm not gonna talk about Arsenal too much here, but the one thing I will say about Onana, and I don't think it's a below. I think it's an average window. I don't think it's below average window. I should put that out there. The one thing I found about Onana was, I think that when you look at how he chose his passes, not just the completion, the ability to complete, but where he chose his passes as well, it allowed you to have a consistent pattern.
He doesn't do the easy pass, Curran.
No,
he picks he knows this is what I need to do. 100%.
It's not just pass. It's not just pass completion. It's pass selection, and that's
100%.
where he's very good. I still think there's room for him to grow in terms of his saving and just in terms of keeping the ball out the net. There is still a level he can still reach to, but I wanted Onana before Ramsdale. Like that was my guy, and that still is my guy.
This is why I respect you. You know so much about what you're talking about.
I don't really know.
What's this
I don't
kissing
really
fest
have
that
anything.
we've started?
I mean,
The
bro,
re-
listen,
it's
I'm
the
sitting
rest
on
of the
a
window.
panel with Alan. What do you expect? I have to give respect to the people that deserve it, and then later I'll talk
I
about
agree.
There won't be no hugging and
if
kissing
it's
there.
a fuck Alan thing, I agree, 100%.
No.
Look,
At some points, there will be.
They are, mate. Absolutely not. No, absolutely.
At some points, there will be fuck Alan. I agree. We can all agree on that.
Where do we
That's the
go?
one thing we're all gonna agree on that.
But
bring it on. I've got
but
enough to go around.
I have to say, right, there is an improvement from last season, which is why you can't say it's a below average window. That's
the reason I'm saying it's below average though, Curran, is because I still feel there's more positions that we should have addressed. And and when I said out of context, I'll tell you something. The reason it's a below average window, in my opinion, or you could call it average, whatever you want, We got Amrabat. At the end of the day, we got Amrabat on a loan. Granted, we will buy him eventually. Yes, I understand it was probably FFP rules. I don't know if it is.
It's the same with us and Raya.
Maybe it's Glazer rules. I don't know if it's actually FFP, but you know what I mean? The thing is, we got him so late to the point that he couldn't play in what I will say, this is probably third most difficult game this season. Because the only thing that's going to be more difficult is going to the is going to Anfield and going to City. Yeah. So you know that you needed to be prepared for the season. And we already dropped 6 points. You can argue that we could have at least gotten 3 more points somewhere, or at least 2 points, whatever it is. You would have had a better game against Spurs. You would have had a better game against Arsenal if you had a competent midfielder. And by the way, Eriksen had a good game yesterday, but he wouldn't have had the game to the levels of what Amrabat could have done, especially on the physical end. Because if Amrabat is there, you're not conceding that goal to Odegaard because you would be positioned better. But listen, these are all things in hindsight.
No, but the thing is, you say that it's. I understand the point where you go, okay, Eriksen out, Amrabat, and it's a better thing. But you also have to take into account how you set up with an Amrabat. With an Amrabat there, you push the line up a bit more, and that does leave the spaces, which means you could theoretically leave yourself a bit more open than you did yesterday because you pushed the line back yesterday, and we're a bit more conservative. So I actually think having without Amrabat gave you that cautious approach that allowed you to kind of dominate the game at times, especially from I think around 30 to about 45 minutes. That the last bit of that first half, you really sort of picked it up a bit. I mean, you weren't really doing anything with it, but possession-wise and just controlling the ball a bit better, you were doing well in that period. With Amrabat there, do you still? I think you're a bit more adventurous. And I think that could have been your downfall even more yesterday.
I mean, we'll see, because I have a theory that he's going to be the lone 6 and Casemiro will still be in the pitch, actually. I think Casemiro is going to
No. Casemiro, I think it will be probably one of Mount and Bruno on the pitch at a time now. Genuinely.
100%. 100%. So the whole line being deeper or further, we'll see. That's a good shot, but we will see because, no one really knows how this midfield is going to set up, but we'll find out. But back to just the transfers. Listen, I don't think we got rid of the biggest deadwood. I think Maguire shouldn't have been here. I don't think Maguire should have been here. Is that what I said? I don't know what I said. I don't think Maguire should have been here. I don't think McTominay should have been here. They both got offers, and for one reason or another, we couldn't get rid of them. For the life of me, I don't understand why we would miss out on Kim Min-jae, but then the replacement is Johnny Evans. When we have went all summer for Todibo and others, and at the end, we ended up signing someone who was playing for us when I think I was in high school at the time. It's just it's baffling to me. On some positive news, actually, Eric Bailly just got sold an hour ago to Besiktas. Yeah. So, that's one deadweight that's finally off the books, and I don't even care how much we got for him. But, most of the issues haven't been addressed. That's all I'm trying to say. I think we're still lacking in some points. You're looking at this team, and there was United fans saying, we have improved on last season. We're going to compete. Listen, it takes time to even adapt. So some of these players are still unable to play with Onana because they're not used to someone feeding them the ball so much where they get the ball and they actually don't know. He's actually exposing so many players right now because the issue was De Gea was never feeding them the ball. Now you have a goalkeeper that's feeding them the ball, but you can't do anything with it. But because the goalkeeper could play football better than you. So it's exposing a lot of deficiencies in this team. The only thing I'm happy about,
a lot of the narratives that the team was being solely held back by De Gea. I think a lot of fans.
That should have never been a thing, Corinne.
I know, but it was. It was.
No, I understand. There's a lot of people that thought Onana comes in and all of a sudden we're going to play we're going to play Pep Ball. And I'm like, bro, the 10 players that are on the pitch are not as good on the ball as the goalkeeper, anyways. There's still people on this pitch. What's his name? Wan-Bissaka, Varane to an extent because I think he's kind of underrated when it comes to his passing, but his passing angles are not the best. Casemiro isn't the best. There's certain players on this pitch that are not as good as passing as the goalkeeper. So now we're seeing actually who's not good on the pitch and keeping the ball and passing the ball when Onana is actually doing it perfect now. So he's the one bright light for me. I'm very happy that we got him. I don't care what anyone thinks about the goals that he's conceded. I don't think he could have done anything more for us. He's absolutely transitioned the way that we played, and it's not even looking good yet. So the fact that I'm complimenting him and people are still not seeing the best style of play, imagine if he wasn't here. So he's the best signing. Højlund looked bright yesterday, but I'm not going to give him a rating when he's only played 20 minutes. He looked very good, though. He's given us something different that we haven't seen in a while. So it was refreshing to watch him. But overall, as I said, with the outgoings, ingoings, some of the issues not being addressed, I'm going to give us, you know what? I'm going to listen to you, Curran. I'm just going to be fine and say it's average. So I'll give it a 5 or a 6. Actually, no, sorry, not a 6, 5. I'm staying at 5.
I mean,
So talk
we
to me
haven't
about the
addressed-
individuals. Talk to me about the
we
individuals.
haven't addressed the elephant in the room that is Mason Mount. I think that's the
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, you pretty much.
Are we back to June? Are we
We're
back to
back to
June and
June, yeah.
July? 'Cause,
لا
like,
بس
I
اسمع
remember.
this what I want to do, and this is for all of you guys
Welcome.
when you get to your sections. I wanted to do exactly what Staff has said, which is speak generally, but also on a couple individuals. Like, for example, how you feel about Mount, Onana, etc. So just like individuals matter in this transfer window too. So go ahead, Staff.
Okay, I spoke about Onana. Højlund, there's not much to speak about. As I said, we've barely seen anything. But listen, in the 20 minutes that he played, he looked good. He actually gave us an option to go long in those 20 minutes. Because if you noticed, Curran, we were struggling to get out our first phase of play. You know, the
100%.
first phase
that was by
good.
design, though.
The second phase was
Yeah.
very difficult. No, you guys left us. You waited for us to meet.
Yeah,
you, bro.
exactly.
You were like, you know what?
We
We'll-
designed. We
100%.
look, any Arsenal game you watch, we are at you. We start our press.
You waited for us.
Yeah.
You rarely pressed, and you were like, you know what? We'll wait for you at this point right here, but let me see where you. And you guys would be patient, and then we either gave you the ball or you guys waited too long, and you were like, all right, let's press. You guys did that a few times where you waited. I don't know what the instructions was, but you would wait a little bit, and all of a sudden, I'm seeing everyone press. That's definitely a tactic from the manager.
Yes.
You know, but
Well, the trigger was Wan-Bissaka. That was the trigger.
Yo, Curran, wallahi, bro, you don't understand how much I'm loving the stream now, because I say this about Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I said that opponents leave him open because now they know he's our weakest link. If you noticed, he was being left alone a lot because they wanted to force the pass to him.
But
But
the
now
thing is, it's
people,
not specific to Wan-Bissaka though. Usually, you're in a press. Usually, the fullback is the trigger for a press. But
no,
him
there's a reason
specifically,
why it's the right side instead
yeah,
of the
exactly.
left
That's what I was going to say. Him on his side, it was more evident than it was on Dallow's side. Dallow,
100%.
I want to say this because I wasn't here with the breakdown. Had a very, very good game yesterday. A very, very underrated
side.
game.
We all agreed on
But
that. Yeah.
just on the signings, Mount, I think, was not needed. I think that's the
I
main
was gonna
thing.
say that.
I just think that I don't think he's an awful signing. I don't think he was needed. I think that's fair. I don't think he's an. I think
Winter
he's awful.
Surfer was smiling for 2 months when that was announced.
I wasn't gonna say that. I just wanted to finish the positive, which is Højlund, and just mention that he just gave us something different.
So
We will see.
I'm really apologizing, Staffy, but there's a guy I want to address. Salah gone by Friday. FSG will take them all. Salah will leave to avoid Roma versus Sevilla, Ramos versus Sevilla, and Salah, Hussam, your fan base doing emergency space. Yeah, habibi, who reported this? Is it
Grizz.
Ornstein? Is it Joyce? Who reported it?
Grizz.
Mr. Okay, so I'm supposed. Where is Catherine Turam? Waves. Where's Catherine Turam? Welcome to Liverpool, Catherine Turam. I have to say it.
Yeah.
You triggered me with 3 super chats. I was quiet this whole time. Where's Catherine Turam?
Leave Hussam alone.
Sky News. Yalla,
We'll
let's
get
go.
them.
Sky Sports News.
We'll
let's
get
go.
to him after.
Also,
Sky
just quickly.
One second. No. Can I just go to Sky
Yeah.
Sport? Because
Go to Sky Sports.
from the start of this
while you're-
video, who Michael Rasna? Yalla, Sky Sports News. Where is the Salah bid?
All I'm going to
Where?
say is he won't be playing.
Their last
against
tweet is
Sergio
from
Ramos.
4 hours ago talking about Trent and the England squad. Where's Turam, Waves? Thank you. Go
The
ahead.
only
Sorry,
thing I was
my
gonna, the
bad.
only thing I was going to say is there was
Sorry.
a super chat about
Ask
Sergio.
yourself.
There was a super chat about Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos is playing for Sevilla. They're in the Champions League. They're not in
Liverpool out of the Europa League.
the Europa League.
Yeah, that made no sense, to be honest.
Yeah,
For a
that's-
second, I was confused. They thought maybe he plays for Arsenal. No, he plays
Yeah,
for
no.
Liverpool. So he won't be playing Sevilla. But back to Mason Mount. Listen, I agree with you, Curran. I don't think he was needed. I am happy, though, that we got a different midfielder,
Mhm.
who's Amrabat, because I think he should be the one starting. I am okay, and I said this on this channel before. I said I'm okay with Mason Mount being an option. My issue with him was him being a main starter and someone who has to start in that midfield every time, because I thought that was imbalanced. Even if Casemiro is not in that midfield and Amrabat starting ahead of him and he's a better passer than him, I still think that midfield is imbalanced. However, there will be games where we're going to play weaker opponents. There will be games that we will be winning games and we need someone who comes in and puts on pressure and brings in that tracking back ability and sprinting and doing all that. And there will be games where we want to bring on someone who's going to be an extra body in the box try to get us a goal. So there will be a situation where I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with Mount being on the pitch right now. My whole issue was him being a main starter in that midfield, because no matter how we put it, as long as him and Bruno are there, I don't think it works. I don't think it's the best balance. So him being an option, yes. Him being a main starter, no. And I think that's all I'm signing. Did I miss anyone? And don't say Johnny Evans, because I'm not commenting on that.
Bayendier and these guys, or
who?
The Bayendier, the goalie.
Goalkeeper? I mean, do you want me to lie and tell you that?
No. I'm just saying. If you missed anyone there, that was the only.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't know much about him. He's a backup goalkeeper, anyways.
Yeah. I did really got triggered by the comments there.
Yeah, I know you did.
I mean, good job,
Alan,
Wave.
you want to say? Surfer and Alan, you want to say something?
Oh no. Regulon. You didn't mention Regulon.
Oh, Regulon. I mean, but you know, it's more of an emergency.
These guys want the red carpet to speak. Speak, Habibi.
Maybe listen. I mean, Alan can talk about Regulon, but we all know he just came in. Listen,
that's why I brought up. That's why I brought up, because I knew I could set up Alan for
if
Staffy, I have a question for Staffy. Staffy, did you go on vibes from the 6 and Alan triggered you or something? What happened?
No, why? What happened?
Because you're bare, like, I want to punch Alan energy.
I want to punch Alan in general. He didn't do anything. I'm not gonna lie to you. When you was giving the intros, first of all, you didn't tell me who's on today. You only told me Curran, because when I asked you earlier, so he was the only one confirmed. But then I'm hearing the intros, and you said Curran. I'm like, okay, I know that. You say Winter Surfer. I'm like, oh, I like Winter Surfer. And then, but he was the first one you introduced, and you were like, the guy who's too busy for us now. I'm like, fucking God, Alan is on a stream again, and it's the one guy you introduced, and I'm like, if he probably told me Alan was gonna be on, I would have said I'm busy. But you know, I'm stuck now. It was too late for me to like back out. But you know what, Alan, you're here. I have to deal with you, just like I have to deal with Mason Mount. So it is what it is.
You have to deal with me because I just trigger you, and you get done in all the time.
You trigger everyone, Alan.
I think Alan just has this punchable face. He's like the Bruno Fernandes
it's not the face. It's that Alan is very. I'll tell you what. Alan is very good at being able to get you to annoy yourself. That is what he does. He does that very
he just
well.
He's the Bruno of YouTube. Think of it. You just see him there. You're like, you're so annoying.
Bruno's your player. That's
you think I like him? I'm gonna be honest. I don't like him.
To be fair, I'll reject that comment because I don't bitch and moan. I just tell you how it is, and you bitch and moan, and you complain that I've got a Man United agenda. Let's be honest. Your transfer window, Onana is a decent keeper. Regulon, there's a reason why Spurs don't want him, because he's awful, and you guys have lapped him up. How on earth you're finishing a Premier League game in 2023 with the Evans and Maguire connection is absolutely disgusting. And this is the great Man United, my arse. Who else have we got?
See, and then he wonders why I say he has a Man United agenda. He said these things to get a reaction. By the way, no reaction from me. Go ahead.
Hoyland is unproven yet, so he could come good. That's fine. And Mason Mount make no sense for you. So
he's not better than Madison, you think?
Yeah.
He's not better than Madison. No, he's not.
All right. How much
I didn't say that. My fan base said that.
How much did you pay for Mount?
65?
55 plus 5.
It's 55.
Us was 65.
55
sorry.
too much.
Yes, 50 plus 15.
Yeah. 55 is way too much for him.
But he doesn't press Alan. You don't think Mason Mount is better?
Look, the way your window's gone and the way you've started this season, the way everything's going with Ten Hag and all that, I think you'd be lucky to get 10 for the moment.
Wow, 10.
Extra, okay.
And I had him at 5th, and he said I had a Man United agenda for putting him 5th before a ball was.
Relax, Alan. We'll still come good. I get you're overreacting.
No, I'm just telling you how it is. Prove me wrong.
I can't prove you wrong. I'm not the team. The team is gonna have to prove you wrong.
Can't prove me wrong because I'm right.
I cannot prove you wrong. The season isn't over.
He can't even finish the sentence. Look at him. He's laughing off screen. He can't even finish it.
He's like, yes,
shameless man.
Listen, this is why I turned this light on. So when my face turns red and you piss me off, you can't tell.
So is that it? Is that all you want to say?
I mean, you want him to say more bullshit. I mean,
no, surely Winter Surfer has something to say.
Alan, at least give yourself like a 2-minute segment. Like, fuck me. Like, you talk for 30 seconds. Is that all you can give me, Alan?
United aren't worth my time. I've just basically dispelled all their teams, like all their signings. They reckon an average window. It's way below average. It's 3-4 out of 10 at best from Man United. You tell me any of them signings that are going to push you forward in this first half of the season when you need it most? Now everything's falling apart. Which one of them signings is going to make Man United take Man United to the next level and push you when you're struggling that you are right now? Which one?
Yeah,
I mean, Alan, we will be in better shape when everyone is back and healthy, and Amrabat starts
which
and
signing
Højlund's
is going to kick you on in this?
Well, I don't know what that definition is of kicking you or whatever you're trying to say. I mean, I don't think we'll be horrible as we looked. I mean, you got to understand, we still went to Arsenal yesterday with a depleted team. We didn't have Amrabat who we signed. We didn't have our main striker that we signed. We have to play Martial for fuck's sake still.
I will say one thing.
Varane out,
when
Shaw's out,
we went to
out.
when we went to Old Trafford and lost without Partey, without our main DM, that no one gave a shit about that, but everyone was going on about Maguire and things, and the same thing happened with Saliba in the run-in. Like everyone was like, oh, everyone's blaming holding. But when it comes to United, we have our 5th and 6th centre backs on the list. It's not the same thing.
Did you hear what you just said? 5th and 6th. You're making fun of Johnny Evans, but then you're telling me not to use it as an excuse. Do you understand?
No, I'm not saying not use it as an excuse. There is an excuse. That's my point. My point is it is an excuse. It's not. It's a reason why you aren't playing as well. When you don't have competent players on the pitch, like with Johnny Evans, you're going to play worse. It's that simple.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I think I'm reasonable to say that.
Staffy, legend has it he's still sliding for that challenge from yesterday. You know, when Jesus told him a dummy.
First of all, I want to tell anyone who thought, listen, let me tell you something. If you thought that was Johnny Evans, you are stupider than you look, because you think Johnny Evans can run that fast. That wasn't even Johnny Evans. That was
Dallo.
So if you think that was Evans, I don't know what you're smoking, because he can't even run that fast. That was the low though. But yes,
the only thing I will say is that I feel like the quality of the signings are not, at the top tier. And what signing these guys, for example, on Amrabat, Højlund, like you could have got an Osimhen, you could have got like someone of that quality as centre forward. I feel like you've got this guy and he's good. But is he that good that he's going to raise a level up? Like that's what Alan was saying, was in terms of raising you up at a level.
Yeah,
and
that's an ideal world, though, Curran.
No, but my point is that you've decided, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying that it's not. You've kind of closed off the world-class centre forward market, which is going to be next summer, to get this guy in. And you needed a centre forward. That's the difference. Is that the timing for this has meant that you have missed out on some world-class centre forwards. The likes of Šeško, probably Evan Ferguson, the Osimhens of the world. There's a lot of centre forwards available next summer.
I think Højlund will surprise a lot of people.
I do too, but I do also think that he's also scored 7 goals. So I don't know what he's going to do. That's my point.
He scored 9 in 20 starts.
Sorry, 9. Sorry, I take that back.
9 in 20 starts.
Yeah, so
he starts for a 20-year-old or a 19.
Yeah, no, of course. But the thing is, as you've just said, he's 20 years old.
Of course, and I feel bad. This is why, if you remember, I said we didn't address the striker issue because we should have had one more. Yeah. So technically, we do agree.
No, we do agree, and I don't think that's I don't think that I'm saying anything that's like over the top. I'm just saying that there's spending 70 million on a striker. You want someone that's going to hit 15, 20 goals in a season. I hope Højlund does that, but I don't know if he does. He hasn't played enough games, plus the injury record as well. So I just don't know what he's going to produce.
Okay, before we move on to the next club, just quickly, kind of final topic on Man United, because David's touching on it. Big up to David, who says it's really weird how people blame Ten Hag when both Lindelof and Martinez get off injured and put on the 2 available defenders. For this summer in general, Staffy, there's been a conversation even between your own fan base. Is this summer transfer window Ten Hag's fault? Is it not Ten Hag's fault? Where do you lay with the whole blame game? Is it like everyone deserves a little bit of the blame type thing? Where's your mind with it?
Listen, I'll always stay consistent, even though Hamza likes to make fun of that. He says we're always victims and we blame the Glazers. I always start up with the Glazers and then I blame the individuals under, but I never leave the Glazers out of it. Because to move as a competent club, you always need to have a board that supports you, and you need to have people that are, as a manager, you need people above you that approve these decisions and they correct you when you're making the wrong decision. He wanted Kim Min-jae, okay? Didn't get Kim Min-jae for whatever reason. The club wasn't serious about him. For what I remember, we were in for him, but we never bid for him. I'll never understand why. Obviously, we all know he now went to Bayern. If the manager wanted him, I think we can all agree here that he's a good player. If he didn't get him, who's the replacement? And why didn't we get a proper replacement? Why are we signing Johnny Evans, who played a year ago, not a year ago, a few years ago for us, just because his wife works for the media team or the PR team, something like that? She has a position in the club. And at first they told me he's just here to train, sent him out of the club because, he's from the club. He grew up in the club or whatever. I'm like, okay, that's fine. We've always that. Actually, during Sir Alex Ferguson time, we used to do that a lot. A lot of players used to come back when they didn't have a club, just train, get their fitness up during the summer, and then they would get signed by someone else. I thought that was another example of that. But for some reason, he became an option, fifth or sixth, whatever it is, option for the team. And that should have never been the thing, because I think we are one competent right center back away from having a decent base for this team. When you look at Martinez and Onana, to complete that triangle, we need a good right center back. Varane is not it. He's a good player, but he's not going to be it. And he's always injured anyways. So when you look at that being missed, I'm like, okay, what is the issue here? Why is the manager not being backed? And why are we not finding him alternatives? If the alternative is Johnny Evans, then who do I have to blame here? Because Johnny Evans is not a Ten Hag guy. He didn't play in Ajax. He didn't play in Utrecht. He didn't play in any of this. So we can't blame him for that. So I have to blame the people that back him. Why did he not get a proper backing there? And by the way, to answer this guy, apparently Lindelof was sick. He wasn't even injured. So if Lindelof was sick, listen, Lindelof, I like Lindelof, and I think he's kind of underrated. But Lindelof, to come off with, 20 minutes left, 15 minutes left, when we're hanging on for dear life in the Emirates, I mean, shame on you, man. If this is true, I'm really upset with this. Martinez, he wasn't injured. He actually went to
he took a knock. He definitely took a knock,
but he wasn't injured. Injured is being have to sub though.
No. But I think he took a knock, and they didn't want to risk him because of the situation.
He went to Argentina anyways. He didn't come off with no protection.
No, but they assessed him after the game, and but the thing is, with your centre back situation, do you really want to take that risk? I think in the moment, I think that was the thinking, and then they assessed him afterwards, and then it would be, okay. He's
if they can't play, they can't play. But at the same time, I can't blame Ten Hag when the options are Maguire and Evans. When he wanted Maguire sold, then obviously no one would want Evans. So this is what I'm saying. I mean, like Hussam said, it's basically a mix of everything. I can't blame one individual. I think even Hussam, who's always on Ten Hag's neck, can even admit, like, listen, I can't even blame him for having Johnny Evans. I gotta blame the club for that.
The only thing I will say is, personally, I think not selling Jadon Sancho kind of ruined this window for you. That's just me, and not because of the stuff that's just come out, but I think the funds raised from a Jadon Sancho sale could have got you the right centre back.
I agree with you, but here's the thing: were we ever going to sell him? He was an option. He wasn't for sale. They were willing to listen. If anyone wants to come in, we'll listen, but he's not for sale. And all this coming out from yesterday, I was like, listen, we can talk about training all we want. We can talk about all this. I don't think the manager rates him in general. Let's be very honest. I don't think he looks at him. He's like, he's my type of player.
No.
Every manager has his style of play. You know what? Jose Mourinho always looked for hardworking players.
Yeah,
that was the main thing for Mourinho. No matter how talented you were, if you weren't hardworking, I didn't want you. This manager's Pep always wanted technical players. Obviously, he wants hardworking players, but he looks for certain profiles. If you have this certain IQ and you're this good on the ball, you're a Pep player. Whatever Ten Hag's criteria is, I don't think that Jadon Sancho was it. Especially when he came out and said, I want to play transition football. I don't think Jadon Sancho is a transition football player. He's a good player, but I don't think he's a transition football player. He needs a team that's a little bit more patient on the ball, a team that holds the ball, a team that wants to link up, move the ball, progress the ball, and keep the ball in the positions half. But if you want to play fast football at all times, listen, he wouldn't even fit. Remember when he was so good a couple years ago? At that time, if you put him even in that Liverpool team, I don't think he would have been good. And even though he was banging a lot of goals, that Liverpool team was too fast for him. So that's what I'm saying. If you want to play transition football, you recruit a certain style of players. I don't think he's it. But yet again, why did we keep him if the manager doesn't want to keep him or he doesn't think he's the right player?
That's it.
We can talk about the wages. Oh, the wages and all that. We'll put them on these wages. We're back to talking about the Glazers again. Get what I'm saying?
Staffy, it's very simple. You want to talk about the wages and you can't remove them because of put them on loan. Someone at least eats up a portion of those wages and you can
That's
make
what people
something
said.
of that.
Yes.
And the other thing I'll say is you talk about the style of Ten Hag football and the transition football and the Dortmund Sancho. The Dortmund Sancho, he was always a left-sided player. When he was playing on the right, it was because he had Hakimi with him. And Hakimi would bomb up and give him the overlap. So he would come inside and play one-touch football.
And he always had that outlet to Haaland. People keep forgetting that.
You cannot have Wan-Bissaka, Dalot, these guys. They don't have the pace or the physicality to do those up and down runs. You can't do. They don't have.
And
that.
they're even as good as the on the ball as Hakimi is.
Of course not. But my point is you signed him, and I said this at the time. It was a disgusting signing. It was a really bad signing, and the reason why in 2021-22 I had you 5th was because of that. And everyone was like, oh, Ronaldo, Sancho, Varane, it's going to be a time. It was always going to be a crappy window, that window. And it brings me back to this window. I don't think this is a crappy window. I think this is an okay-ish window because you've actually addressed spots you need to address whilst not making silly profiling decisions. Because the problem with United is they can't profile. They have no idea how to profile players. They're really bad at it.
You know why? Because you only have the manager doing that. And listen, no matter how all of us here think we're good at what we're doing, we are not perfect. Okay?
No, of course not.
So there's gonna be a point.
I would have ran Liverpool's transfer window better, personally, in my opinion. Like, I genuinely believe it. But I hear you. I think Staffy, on a real, it got to the stage where this summer my transfer window and your transfer window was so shit that I genuinely
You was
believe...
one DM away from having a good transfer window.
No, we were Endo not coming and a better DM coming and a centre back coming from having a good window.
At this moment,
we need Endo to not be at this club, and we need a centre back. So that's the different thing. But look, it's been a long ass segment on Man United before we just move on to next club. Onana's Man United's best midfielder can't save for his life. Staffy_TV. Why are you literally triggered when the truth about him is said? Allison clear.
How am I triggered?
Allison is clear.
Well, this is the issue. Sometimes I don't understand these people. Where am I triggered? I've had a very civil conversation so far. Yes, I said fuck Allen, but I always say fuck Allen. I'll say fuck Allen off screen, on screen. It doesn't really matter. And when have I said that Alisson is not a goalkeeper? I've been on this channel so many times saying he's an amazing goalkeeper. He's the best goalkeeper. But Sam has heard me so many times defend him. So thank you.
We literally had a conversation about the top 5 keepers, and we all said Alisson won.
I don't know what more am I supposed to do. They want me to buy an Alisson.
You remember we had like
top 5 wingers. My winger would be number 1, 2.
Correct.
Staffy, I think it's a hidden message. I think this message was to get you triggered. That's the hidden message. That's what it is.
Hey, David.
Stay triggered.
You know, let me tell you a quick. Let me tell you a quick 10-second funny story about David. David's a Liverpool fan. He went to Stamford Bridge with his cousin who supports Chelsea for the Forest game. He DMs me at the start of the game. He's in my watch along. He sends me a super chat. He's like, I can't believe I'm at Stamford Bridge with my cousin Hussam. I hate this. And then at the end of the watch along, he comes back and he's like, Hussam, Nottingham Forest scored and they're winning. I'm so happy. Big up to you, man, David. My guy. Big up to Elias. Says 220 million bid for Mo Salah. No problem. Elias, he's live now. Go watch him, Habibi. Big up to you, my brother. I appreciate you for the super chat. FSG have F up Liverpool. Only need 2 good, please. Ryan, Endo, Y, CDM need 54 mil in, 85 out. Supports direct joke. No backup, 5 out of 10. I agree with you. I think our window, maybe from the outside looking in, a lot of people might go like, oh, it's a good window, blah, blah, blah. Fairs. But from the inside, it's a completely different story because you know what Liverpool are lacking, Joe. And thank you so much for the super chat. And finally, man like... What does this say?
Wave.
Man Sevilla like Wave.
Sevilla always drop to Europa. I don't think they're dropping in our group. Our group is us, Sevilla, PSV, and Long. They're not dropping. This is the year they actually go through. So
if PSV drop them, then it's a disease at this point. It's a Europa League disease at this point.
The only thing is Sevilla have been utter crap this year. So maybe. But
fairs. So anyway, moving on. Big up to Joe, big up to the 2 Davids, big up to BIG, big up to B, big up to Elias, big up to Waves for the super chats. Big up to you guys. Make sure you're all hitting the like button. Make sure you're all subscribing to This Is Football. Long international break ahead, but we promise you entertainment and we shall deliver. So next club we've got to go to our Arsenal Football Club.
Here we go.
Karan, the floor is yours, my brother. Talk to me about the Arsenal transfer window. And before we go, guys, we cannot be shameless and count injuries as something bad happening in the window because Arsenal can't account for that. That's just the reality.
Can I ask a question first? And this can go to all of you guys. Am I allowed to? Because the thing is, going into this window, right? I think that there were three main concerns. One was Declan Rice, two was Saliba and Saka signing their contracts, and three was trying to get an attacking midfielder to address Kai Havertz. Am I allowed to include the contract extensions as part of the window, or is it not?
I don't think you include contracts. I'm gonna be real with you.
I'm just asking because for me, going into this window, the most important thing was securing Saka and securing Saliba because both were getting. Well, Saliba had 1 year left, and Saka was 2 years left. That was very important for us. I don't know about you guys. If I can't mention it, I can't mention it. But it was very important to Arsenal Football Club.
It's just new signings. It's just new signings. I get your game. I respect the game in trying to bump up the.
No, I'm not. Because the thing is, I'm going to be brutally honest about our window. I'm not going to. I'm not trying to big up our window. But I will say it was a major concern. That's why I'm asking. If I can't mention it, that's fine.
Not in the new thingy. So I mean, very quickly, Spurs signed Kulu and Porro, who were loans with obligations to buy. Do I count them? Do I not? That's the only thing I would count. Just extending contracts, I wouldn't. But whether you go from loan to making them permanent as an option, apart from that, it's just brand new signings.
Yeah, no, I understand. That's why I asked because for me that was very important. But if we're not counting that, we cannot count that. It's fine. Look, going into this window, there was only one thing. I wanted Declan Rice. That was the only thing I really wanted because there has been. I've gone too many years without Thomas Partey in the last part of the season. I couldn't do it again. Again, he's injured. So this is the thing. I needed a proper DM, someone that would marshal the build up, make sure that to cover spaces and transition, and really drive the team forward. And that's what we've got in Declan Rice. So. I'm ecstatic. I've wanted this guy for 2 years. I've taken shit from every fan base for wanting him at the club because we never would get him, and now he's getting it, and now he's here. So, yeah, extremely ecstatic. Timber, look, I love the guy. I wish if he wasn't injured, I don't even know the level we'd be at right now. I think that we'd look so much more succinct and so much more together right now, but. We haven't got him, and that's fine. I think he's a great signing, especially for the value we got for him, £35 million. I think that's a very, very good signing. And then the elephant in the room, which is Kai Havertz, who has started appallingly. I'm not going to say that I like the sign. I mean, me and Hussam did a video about Havertz and how I understand what we're buying him for. I don't like the signing. But I do understand what we're buying him for. I feel like
keep the same energy and say he's not what you needed or he's the wrong profile. Just same thing we said about Mount.
Yes, of course.
These signings are so identical more than people think, and it's not because they both came from Chelsea. They are both being brought in to do a role that you could have actually got. That you could have gotten better plays for.
No, 100%. And this is what I was about to say. Literally, nearly word for word, what I was about to say is that we could have got. For example, a Szoboszlai or a Kudus, who could have done this role at a better level.
This fraud was going to smile as soon as he said his name.
So this is the thing. No, but the thing is, you have to give genuinely. There is
my
a
way.
Right there. I love Dom. Dom's a great signing for them, and there are signings that I think we could have made that would have given you a different option. Look, I don't like the way we've done our outgoings. I think we've left a lot of money on the table because we can't negotiate. We're still suffering from the signings of late Wenger. That's how far back this goes. Late Wenger and Emery. We're still suffering from those years, and I do hope that we'll get better as the level of the players gets up and the level of the players that we start to sell is higher. But I can't say that we've done. I mean, obviously, look at Rob Holding, for God's sake, for like £1-2 million. It's just we were playing a £2 million
Rob
back in
Holding
a title race, just like
like 2 out of 10. Just selling Rob Holding is plus.
Yeah, no, but just I just keep thinking. I was like, we were playing a £2 million centre back in a title race against Man City. That just it feels.
By the way, Curran, you just sold Pepe for $8 million.
$8 million, yeah. You know how crazy it is? That to me great business. Like genuinely, that's how low the standards are for us selling.
Love you, Andy.
So-
Man. Love you.
so-
It's very similar. We just saw Eric buy, and then you guys saw. I mean,
Yeah.
I think they
Like,
just
Winter
went ahead
for all
and
the
got all the
bullying.
Ivorians. They went for all
All
the
the bullying.
Ivorians.
Hmm.
Oh,
Is he-
dang.
Guys,
actually
all the
gonna hear me
bullying
out?
from Winter Surfer, make sure you're liking the video. That's your freeloader rant. You get me? Big up to you. Man, send in a
Like, what?
super chat as rant. I appreciate it. Fair enough, Andy. Love, man. Love,
I'm not
love.
gonna lie. Whenever I
I
need
love
likes,
this dude.
I DM Winter Surfer, even if he's not on the show. I'm like, yo, Surfer, they're not giving me likes, and he just goes at everyone.
No, but just to round off, because we did also sign David Raya as well, who does give
Yes.
us a great depth at goalkeeper, which I know isn't a thing, but look, I think it's a good signing. I think if Ramsdale can't hack the competition, he'll get replaced, and if he does, then great. We have two great goalkeepers, and even if it does only work for a year or maybe 2 years, that's 2 years of two great goalkeepers. So for me, I just think I like the signing. I like that we've managed to get it into a loan with an obligation almost. Like, it's a very easy option. It's basically an obligation for next year, and got him fairly cheap as well. I think it's under £30 million. So another good signing. I just think that we were lacking. We should have got a right back once Timber went down. We really should have got a right back, and I think the timing of the outgoings being so late meant that we couldn't move, and I think that's on Edu Arteta, the entire club, and I don't think it was good enough. I think we left ourselves too little time to make a move for an appropriate right back. So again, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, everything's great because we signed Rice. Rice was the main thing. Rice alone makes it a 7 out of 10, but I can't give it any more than that. I can't. Maybe a 7.5 because of Timber as well and Raya, because we did bring some great. I can't give it any more than that because we left ourselves short in defense, and we can't really say that it's like, oh, it's an amazing window when it is in isolation a very good window. I can't give it more than a 7, maybe pushing 7.5 on it, because I feel like there are positions we still need to address. So yeah, that's what I have to say.
I want to say my honest opinion on this whole Arsenal situation. I think with Arsenal, they've had an absolutely fantastic window, bar two things for me. They're selling. They need to get a bit more money from their selling. And the second thing is Havertz. And I've been consistent from the start. Havertz and Mount, I think both will fail. I don't have a preference. I just don't think both are good enough for both respective clubs.
I've never seen Arteta talk about a player like this, and I'm genuinely worried that he'll just keep playing.
And you know what's the worst part? We're doing this video 4 games into the season, and we've watched him for 4 games, and it's kind of reaffirmed what we said. And this is why
the only thing I will say is, right, the off the ball
he played
problems,
well the first game.
the off the ball problems that everyone thought would happen haven't happened. It's the on the ball that he's so just annoyingly frustrating. It's the like this is the thing. Do you remember we had that stream, and I think it was Kunle was on the stream, and he was saying to Kunle, he's not going to be able to do the Xhaka off the ball stuff, and he's done fine off the ball. It's the on the ball stuff, actually being a good footballer on the ball that has been annoying at times. Under hitting passes, missing chances. That's where it's annoying. And yeah, no, which stuff I completely agree, because you did say that, and I said that too. So I just think that there's...
Yeah, I was about to give you credit. I was saying, even Karen, even though he's like one of the quote-unquote more positive Arsenal fans, pro-Arteta, all of that, he still said with Havertz, his bottom line opinion was like, I don't get it, but I'm like, okay, I'm willing to wait and see, basically, type thing. So I don't think he could change his opinion based on 4 games, but so far, as he said, on the ball, not really all that. I think first game he played well, but from there it went downhill. I'm gonna be sorry with you. I think to be fair, away at Palace,
that's just
okay.
honesty. It's not something to be sorry about.
I think
he apologized, not me.
Yeah, I think away at Palace he done well away at Palace. Arsenal should have got more money for like Balogun. Should have got more money for even for Holding. You could have got more money. That's a 10 million deal easily. Could have gotten more money for Pepe as well. But I think if the problem is it's so unfair for us to count the injury. The signing of Timber is absolutely smart from all angles, whether it be price-wise, versatility-wise, where he can play, what he does for their system. So I really like their transfer window, and I'm not gonna include an injury, because when Arsenal signed him, it's not like they thought, oh, he's gonna get injured before they sign him. Like you cannot do that. You cannot do that. So for me,
let me just add quickly something onto it. It wasn't like it's a muscular injury or a recurring. It was an ACL. Like legit, it's just you can't predict those. That's just an impact injury. Like it happens. You can't really do anything about that. It's not like something like when we signed Kim Kallstrom and he had a bad back, and then we knew he had a bad back, and we still signed him just to play, just to kick one ball in the FA Cup final as a penalty to help win us win it. So sorry, the semi-final to help us win the FA Cup. That's the only thing he did. This is something that literally just happened to him when he came. So yeah.
Look, the Arsenal transfer window, obviously, let's start with the obvious. Timber, ACL, devastating injury. We've had Bentancur go through that, so it's nothing to, you can't think for that. And I don't like seeing players go down with injuries that could cost them their career or lead to their career being shortened. So I hope it gets better. But Arsenal's transfer window, like, I'm going to add Timber as if he was there. Great signing for Arsenal. Like, I was kind of surprised that they got him for the amount they did, and I was like, damn. Rice, obviously, 100 million, Premier League proven, going for him. I think you overpaid a bit for him. I wouldn't have put him 100 million. The Havertz deal, just ridiculous. I had no idea. It still makes no sense to me, like the amount that it does. But Arsenal's biggest problem is you saw that injury to Timber, and you didn't react. You didn't get any. That is criminal. That he was your marquee defender signing. You have that injury happen, which obviously now will probably rule him out for the full season, and you don't address it.
No, not the full season, but most of it. Yeah,
it's going to be close. I mean, look, Bentancur done. He's in January, and there's talk that he may not be back till January, so he can sometimes keep you out.
No, but the thing is, with ACL tears, it depends on whether it's a full or partial tear.
No, I know. But
so it's a different scenario, because Bentancur literally had a full tear, which is 9 to 15.
Scenario is 5 to 6 months. Worst case scenario is a year. So it just depends on how it is. But in seeing that, as soon as that happened, I was like, well, they're going to go out and get. And I can't remember the defender you were linked with at the time, like as another feat. I can't remember who it was.
Probably you're probably thinking of Ivan Fresneda, probably.
I can't recall now, but you would link with another defender. I was like, well, they're going to go and get him now. They have to. And nothing happened. Nothing happened. And if you look at, for me, I'll be honest, if you look at it, okay, Rice is better than Granit Xhaka, so you improve the starting 11. So you improve the starting 11 with Rice over Xhaka, because Xhaka goes. You bring in Timber, who was an improvement in your defence, but he's now injured. You bring in Havertz, for me, who wasn't an improvement on the first team. I don't buy it. I don't think it was. So you get to the point where you're like, okay, you've kind of improved the starting 11, but the gap to your bench, like in golfing class, is higher. It's
no, it really isn't to last year. I don't think the gap to our bench is not higher than. I completely disagree that. I think that because the thing is, right, if you think about our starting 11, it's I'll just go Ramsdale, White, Gabriel Saliba, Zinchenko, Partey, Rice, or Xhaka last year, Ødegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus, right? And the bench was Eddie, Tierney, Tomiyasu, Holding, Reece Nelson, right? Now we're looking at guys like Emil Smith-Rowe. I mean, Emil Smith-Rowe was on the bench last year, but now we're looking at guys like an improved Fabio Vieira, who's looked bright since this year. We're looking at guys like you can put on the bench and bring in someone else for him. It's not like this. The 11 you can play Partey and Rice together, for example. Like there is definitely not a level on the bench that is if you go and look at our team sheets, compare them to a year ago, we've definitely improved our bench. It's the changes to the starting 11 that are the problems. That's the issue. It's not the bench.
I see it the other way. I see it the other way in the fact that I think your starting 11's better. But I think the drop off to your bench is a bigger golfing class. And look, that's the thing. The problem with Arsenal last season is that your 11, when you got to the end, your 11, you're going to fouled. But I think you've improved the 11. It just depends on injuries, because obviously Timbers already had his injury. You've got Partey now that's out for you can't afford any more big injuries because it starts hurting your team. So
look, let me just give you just a quickly just to put this yesterday's bench was Raya, Tomiyasu, Kivior, Jorginho, Smith Rowe, Nelson, Vieira, Trossard, Jesus. That's not a weak bench.
But hold on. Let's be honest. Jesus starts, doesn't he? He's come back.
And then Nketiah on the bench.
The Nketiah. So let's be honest.
Okay, no. But I'm just pointing out what the subs bench. Let's put Nketiah on the bench, right? That's still not a weak substitution. Nketiah has just been picked for England, for God's sake. Like he's not like he's some sort of. He's not a scrub, is he?
No, I'm not. Hold on, I'm not saying he's a scrub.
No. But my point is,
I wouldn't boast about being picked for the England squad with this.
No, but my point is that in terms of our bench isn't weak. The problem is we're starting Havertz. That's the problem.
Yes.
That's the problem, right?
Yes.
So
right.
I'm not gonna. I don't agree. I'm not saying that everything's rosy. I'm saying the problem is that we're starting Havertz. We're not starting, for example, Fabio Vieira or Emil Smith Rowe or maybe a Leandro Trossard. Like that's the problem.
I also think that, like you said, I'm surprised you let Tierney go. You've got Tomiyasu's injury record isn't that good. You didn't bolster much of the fullbacks. So with Zinchenko, if he's not fit, you started Kivior there, which probably doesn't help in the long run. You start doing the Partey experiment, him at right back, which is just foolishness to me. He starts there. The David Raya thing, I find very weird. I don't want my.
We all find it weird. It's not like it's a normal thing.
That's what I mean. The only thing I like about the Raya is the deal. The deal itself that's what I do like about it. I just think he's going to have to make a choice in the season who's his number one is going to be from there on, and then stick with him because
you're not going to rotate goalkeepers,
exactly.
are you? So
you can't rotate goalkeepers.
But the only thing I push back on, and I agree with literally about 80 to 85% what you said. The only thing I push back on, I agree about the defensive depth. That I 100% agree with. I think we've left ourselves, as I said when I was initially talking, I think that defensively we've left ourselves one defender short.
Right.
That I completely agree with. But what I don't agree with is that we are now have a weak bench. I think having.
Oh, I don't agree with that. Yeah,
I think
No. Your bench is stronger because even though this is not like the winter window, Trossard and Kiwior exist. Like it's a reality, whether we like it or not.
The only other thing,
Karen. Let me just say one thing about the whole Raya situation. Remember when me and you had the conversation?
I know.
Anytime Ramsdale makes a mistake, the camera will directly pan to Raya, and the camera is gonna go like, "Hey guys, remember this guy's on the bench?" Like it's just like they're insinuating that he has to start. Basically,
100%.
It's like a media thing.
Yeah, but exactly, it's a media thing. And the thing is, what I think is going to happen is, and I've said this multiple times to you and to other people as well, either Ramsdale steps up or he gets steps aside. It's that simple. You either got to match the level that Raya would produce on the pitch, or you're stepping aside. And this is the main thing I'm going to say is that this situation, even if it lasts 1 year or 2 years, we're going to have a great goalkeeper as a number one. Either one are very good goalkeepers. So I think, especially with Ramsdale's age, he's only 25 years old. He's going to keep on maturing. As a goalkeeper, we all know, like 27, 28 is when you really start to mature as a keeper. He's still developing and growing. I think he's still one of the better goalkeepers in the league. I wouldn't say he's the best, obviously not, but he's still a very good goalkeeper. So I think that there'll definitely be a conversation there, especially with Raya in this team. And say one gets dislodged and wants to leave, then he leaves. It's that simple. I will
say, and this is all banter aside, it's the same with Mount. These signings are vanity signings and ego signings that both managers. Now, what you have to worry about is how far does Arteta take this without him seeing it himself or one of his staff metaphorically slapping him across the face and going, it's not working. Because when he starts,
I agree completely.
When he starts for you, off the ball stuff, whatever, but on the ball, he doesn't add much, like you say. And also, then how many times does that affect you going into a game when you're gonna have to win late? Do you know what I mean? In games that you should already be winning. Do you know what I mean? How long can you go with that without dropping points in the future? That's where Arteta and to Eric Ten Hag's state of mind has to be these are not what we thought they were.
The other thing I will say, and I completely agree. You can't keep playing.
Where are we going with this, Staffy? This is not the vibe we're going for, brother. You're not gonna. This is not a fucking GTA Twitch stream. Like, what are we doing, man?
Why are you fixated on me? Don't worry about me. I'm here.
Staffy's chilling. Let Staffy chill. I mean, he looks like he's in a strip club, but he does look. He looks.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said GTA.
Listen, if I could play some music, I would, but I can't because we would get demonetized. So,
yeah, please don't get me demonetized. I need.
You know the strip club music in GTA. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I would want to play.
No, but I don't want to spend. I don't want to spend all the time. I don't want to spend all the time on Arsenal. But the last thing I will say is that
look,
I'd rather have like any window that got rid of Rob Holding was a good window. Let's be real. Like, I can't have this guy playing for us, even if we're playing Will Walters, who's the one that's on the verge of moving up to the first team from our academy. Like, maybe you could say in a Rico Lewis type role. I don't think he's as good as Rico Lewis, but you could play him in terms of having him at inverted right back or right centre back. He can play there. So I assume we'll see him in the Carabao Cup game against Brentford. But my point is I'd rather have people that I know that will have a potential to improve rather than have people that will definitely hold us back. And you look at the game against City last year, the game against Spurs, Alan will remember, where he got sent off versus Son. I'm sure he's still celebrating that. But come on, you love that top four win. Come on, give us a smile, Alan. You know that's your. There it is.
I do want to go to Spurs next anyway.
Yeah,
so
but that's the last thing I want to say. I'd rather have no Rob Holding and have to promote a youth talent who could deserve it than have Rob Holding, who I know is going to cost us points, especially in crucial games. And there is also a January window, so we can still sign. The same thing we did with Douglas Luiz, and then we bought Jorginho after in the January window. It's still another window if something does happen. So let's see what happens.
January window, can't relate. Anyway, we do have Arsenal here. We do have Alan here. Sorry, so let's use that opportunity to ask him something.
Wow,
because
he said we have Arsenal here, and then said I mean Alan. He called you Arsenal. I think
no. That was a type. No, that was a typo.
I'm just happy I got out of my Arsenal section without Alan going to get me to quit the stream. So there's a small win in there.
Why is everyone on this I hate Alan energy? I'm all for it.
No, Alan hates me. I don't hate Alan.
I mean, there's almost listen. There's only so much bullshit Alan can say in one stream, and he used all of it on the United segment, so he has to recharge now.
You buy easier, Steffi.
Liverpool Deadwood out, kept and brought in. I do want to ask the guys their opinion on Liverpool. Just clocked Saudis can buy all the top 5 leagues. I mean, they can buy whoever the hell they want. My guy Waves. So you're spitting there. I'm gonna be real with you. But thank you to Waves, thank you to Andy, thank you to Joe V1, Elias, the 2 Davids, BIG. Big up to my guy David. Big up to Waves. Make sure you're all liking the video. Make sure all subscribing to this football if you're ready to do so. Hit the like button, subscribe. We've got 3 clubs left. I wanna ask Alan his opinion on Spurs. I wanna ask my guy Winter Surfer his opinion on Chelsea. Oh my fucking life. One day people will understand.
Look,
one day people will understand the player that you can replace Salah with is Vinicius or Mbappe or that level player, which we never sign. This is why I want to keep the guy.
By the way, Brazy, I would never play for Liverpool, but thank you for the offer.
Look. The guy who sent that, there's a clip yesterday of Cherky yesterday of him getting mad at someone running past him. Of Cherky running. Basically, asked for the ball, and he tried to do his best Lassana impression and be like, "Give me the ball, give me this." Go look up after the stream.
Brazy, I know you know me on Brazy. I know you follow me on Twitter. Can you please clip that and send that to me, because I will DM Callum and fight him. I'm very with you. Big up to AJ who says, with Sanchez gone, who do Spurs have a centre back depth? That's what I want to head to now next. Tottenham Hotspurs. That was a good one.
That was terrible. This was
Absolutely
terrible.
You can't hate on that. You can't
Well,
hate
I
on
can,
that.
and I will
That's-
forever.
So
That's absolutely garbage.
you're literally such a big hater. Brazy,
my
please
God.
flip it and send it to me. I'm gonna keep this on the screen. Guys, we are in the presence of Jan Vertonghen. Can we just let him talk about his
just go to LA and speak like that and هيعملوا فيك حاجات مش كويسة. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so Alan, Tottenham
Yeah.
Hotspur. Go ahead, Jan. Your thoughts.
That's horrendous, that accent. I'm not going
It
to lie.
really is.
And the fact is, you continue to do it. You think it's good. It's not. Anyway,
I
look,
blame
Spurs'
Surfer.
transfer window's been good. It can be improved on a lot, and I'll tell you for why. So, getting Maddison for 40 million and putting Harry Winks the other way for 10 million, so a net 30 million for James Maddison is outrageous business. I'll applaud our higher ups for that. Literally, how on earth we got 10 million for Winks and got Maddison for 40 million? For me, one of the signings of the season, he'll be Maddison. You've seen it in the performances he's put out there. I will be open and honest. I wanted Raya as keeper. We went for Vicario. He had a shaky start, but he's getting better as it goes along. I still would prefer Raya. It's just my views on what I would like as a goalkeeper. But he's gone to Arsenal, and he's happy to go back up. So that's on him. Van de Ven, decent young defender. He fits Ange's system. Ange likes defenders with pace, obviously, to try back because we're going to keep a high line. And he's doing all right. Obviously, he's been unfortunate with 2 own goals, but his performances are...
Do them hiring Ange count as part of this window, low-key?
Nah, I wouldn't say so. Transfer window for me is transfers like for players. I don't...
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah. So I'm not going to include Ange in that. Again, Ange is not somebody I wanted. I wanted Nagelsmann first. And then when we were linked with Slot, I looked into Slot, was like, okay, could do a job. Ange wasn't on my radar, but I said I'll give him time to see what he can do, and he
brought your Spurs back. Good football.
He's doing well. So Van de Ven was a good thing. Although we didn't buy him this window, we bought him last window. I will get onto that. It's a massive issue for Spurs. Although we didn't sign him this window, we signed him and loaned him back to Udinese. Udogie, however you pronounce his name. 15 million, and we got him for that is unreal business. Again, what a brilliant signing from Spurs, and he's shown with his performances. So technically, he's not a summer signing, but he is because it's the first time we've used him. So again, I'm happy for that. The Brennan Johnson deal, I don't understand it. For me, I think you needed a backup striker, and I think you needed more in defence, another quality defender or top quality defender, who we didn't get. Solomon on the free, obviously a typical Spurs buy, somebody who's free. But here's the thing. If Son goes through the middle, I think he'll do well on the left, or Perisic. I think he'll be good to come off the bench. So a decent buy for Spurs. The Brennan Johnson one I don't get. I don't know if I'm missing anyone out. I don't think I am.
You're not. I think you mentioned them all. Did you sign anyone else in the last week other than Brennan?
No, just Brennan. And this is the thing. Spurs needed, because at the moment, so Sanchez is now gone. Eric Dyer won't be in the team because he's just been not used at all, unless they may use him. But as
was this the case in preseason as well?
Yeah. Well, preseason he got a couple of games under his belt, but he hasn't been used in the league at all. But the way the season's looking, our defense is going to be Romero, Van de Ven, Phillips, Dorrington. That's our back line. So that injuries, that's going to.
So that's why AJ keeps asking about your back line.
Yeah, because that's a problem, because we're letting Thingy go now, but we should have literally we should have bought somebody else in the centre back. So that's why I'm saying the Brennan Johnson at the time didn't make sense for me. It had to be a top quality centre back, and then it would have to have been a backup striker. But we've gone the way of a winger. So either Ange trusts or has faith in Phillips and Dorrington, or it's a massive oversight for Spurs. So if I'm giving it a rating out of 10, 6, maybe up to a 7 for Spurs, because we've dropped the ball and we've taken a long time to get the deadwood out, and we're only getting them out now once the transfer window has ended, and it makes no sense.
So what's your answer to the defensive thing?
What's my answer to it?
Yeah, like how do you solve it then?
But we can't solve it now. We'll have to wait till January. Otherwise, literally, the only solve we've got is either the only people coming in is Phillips or Dorrington, who's the youngster, or Phillips, who we bought from Blackburn. So it's throwing two youngsters or two unknowns into the deep end in the Premier League.
But they're only playing one game a week till January anyway, so it's like.
Yeah, I know. But if you get Romero van der Ven to go down with a,
are they not in the Conference League?
What was that? Sorry,
no, in Europe. No, in Europe.
Are they not in the Conference? So who's the English team in the Conference League then?
Villa.
Yeah.
Oh,
in Europe. Yeah,
shit!
Europe.
I didn't know that. I thought Spurs were in the Conference League.
No. They finished 8th.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna shake Alan's hand on Thursday night. Fair enough.
No music for me in the midweeks. It's fine. It's all good.
Actually, that's why I had him finishing 5th. Because I thought.
So, what do you guys make of the Spurs window, then? Karen, you know, you've been laying the smackdown on mute.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. The only I didn't know that was happening. The only thing I'll ask that because Alan's been very nice, so I'll be very nice to Alan. So
yeah, he's been nice.
So the only thing I'll ask is, look, we had the same thing when we reverted back from, we had Emery, and now we shifted from Emery ball to what Arteta is doing, and we had a lot of problems defensively because of the shift from the mentality from sitting back to being a bit more aggressive. And you just mentioned about how you're short defensively. Do you think that's going to be an issue going into the November, December, Christmas period, where it's getting cold? You're going to get maybe a niggle, an injury, or something like this, a hamstring. Someone's going to pull up or something, and you're playing. Maybe even is Dyer still there? I don't even know who. I can't remember if Dyer left or if he's still there or not. But say
is he phased out? Something like that.
No, Dyer's hanging around like a bad smell. He just won't go away.
Who the hell is this Kelly guy AJ is talking about? Is this some Kelly? Lloyd Kelly, is it from Bournemouth? I swear.
Yeah.
And
he ain't gonna change your defense like that. He's okay, like he's okay level.
Squad player.
But the thing is, you don't need someone to change your life in defense. You need someone that won't, change your life in a bad way. That's the problem. Tottenham's
defensive. It ain't going to worry me in November, December. But our backline, our central defensive area, worries me now massively.
Yeah.
Right.
And like I said, for me, it's unless Ange just said, "I've got what I need. Thank you very much. I don't need defenders," which I honestly doubt it. It's a massive problem. So that's why I've said about 6. You could push up to a 7 because some signings were good, but I wouldn't go any higher than that, knowing it. And especially you sell Kane in this window and you think Richarlison's the answer. This is what I'm going to keep it at 6 because we could have done so much better.
Right. I understand it, but
just quickly, Winter Surfer, because I'm confused here. So Alan gave it 6. Staffy gave his one a 5. Karen, you gave your one a 7, if I'm not mistaken.
7.
Can I change mine again? I want to give mine a 4 again. I thought 5 was too generous. Can we go back to a 4?
I think
okay, no problem. I'll stick that's 7. That's fair. Because I just want to keep the scores up. Okay, fair enough. That's fair.
I think 7.
Carry on, Winter Surfer. Sorry, my bad.
No, I agree. But at least Ange waited 3 games and then dropped him. So that's probably good. I would say this. I think your first 11 is very good. Very good first 11, but there's a huge, like you said, it's a huge drop off in places like the centre back, a massive drop off. And then Ben Davies is still there. I suppose maybe they might try him in emergency centre back. I know he played left centre back in the back 3, right?
As soon as that Ben Davies, Alan was about to shed a tear there.
No, I know, but if you look at Alan's, but if you look at Alan's squad, you've got Dyer, who they're phasing out, right? They've got what is the Phillips guy defender, right? Is he defender? Yeah, you got him. That's the drop off. You got Romero, Van der Ven, and then the drop off is huge. It's a huge drop off. Like Alan said, and even though they're only playing once a week, you only need someone to pick up a slight, knock, be out for a couple of weeks, something like that, and then
even 1 week. And then the thing is,
right,
and
they've got Arsenal, Liverpool coming up back to back as well. They've got Arsenal, Liverpool coming up back to back. They only need Romero, Van der Ven to get injured during international break. And then it's a crisis at the back there.
But the other thing is the momentum is with Spurs right now.
Yes, very much.
And the thing is, right, I think this window, this break came at a bad time for them, but the momentum's still there when they come back. They still have that togetherness. They haven't, if I'm not mistaken, they haven't lost a game yet. So the momentum is the togetherness, that that Andrew's come in, everything's going well, things are going good. But remember, and I'm not saying this as remember, Nuno won August Manager of the Month when he first came with Spurs.
You know what, Curran?
And
I know where you're going
came,
with this.
And things the things kind of went bad.
They weren't playing football like this under Nuno.
No, they weren't. And this is the thing. I'm not comparing the two. But the point is one.
They did beat City though.
Yeah. No, but my point is the point I'm going to make is one misstep and one kind of like a bit of a rock, and then you have to see how they recover from.
No, the thing would be to judge. They've got, like I said, after Sheffield United when they come back, they've got Arsenal, Liverpool back to back. That's the litmus test. Okay, to see what this Spurs team is really all about. Right, if they have no injuries. Right?
No, but the thing is, the point is you just made. If they have no injuries,
that's what I'm saying.
Because the thing is, right, they could come to us without Romero and get smacked, and then you can't really say, look, it's been a fake revival. They didn't have Romero.
No.
It's like their second best player or third best player.
Right.
So can I just MDL 1249 put a comment? Romero pick up a red. We know him, Bozo Gene. Look. If that was last season, I'd agree with you. But this season, with 4 games in, no red, no yellow, and him and Van de Ven have given away no fouls. So it looks like, at the moment, completely transformed the back. But an injury to Romero or Van de Ven, like I think Romero plays in the key
for... Wait, 1 second, Surfer. 1 second, Surfer. Before you go, I just wanted to go on what Alan just said here. He said it perfectly. And this is the issue, bro, with sometimes people speaking about football when they don't actually understand. Alan just said that you said they give away what? 0 fouls, did you say?
So far this season, yeah.
You know why, Alan? Because you went from being a low block team to a team that wants to have the ball. Guess what happens when you have the ball? You don't have to defend. And people don't understand that. So you saying that, whoever said that, all respect to you, I don't even know who that is. But you just say that, you don't even understand now that, yes, he's always going to have that Bozo gene. But what are the odds of someone getting a red card when he's forced to defend more and concede more chances? And now that he's in a position-based team where he actually doesn't have to do a lot. The same thing happened to Gabriel, by the way. Last season, I think Arsenal gave away 0 red cards last season.
Correct.
They were a team that always gave red cards. But you know what happened? They went from being pragmatic, the team that was like much more closer. That
in 21-22 we were not pragmatic.
Okay, I don't know which, but I know Arteta started his career, and that's totally fine.
But the thing is, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm saying I'll tell you what happened. So 20.
No, but my point was to say that last season that was your best year in terms of having the ball, controlling games when you didn't have to defend.
We had more possession
and you didn't put what's his name in a lot of situations to even trigger that Bozo gene. That's all I'm saying.
No, but the thing is, and while that's one side of the coin, the other side of the coin is. Right, when you play a high line, you play a possession-based football. You would play that high line. You're also very vulnerable in high line situations. You have to have the recovery pace and the timing. And if you miss timed tackles, you can still get sent off.
I hear that. So, that's still less defending. I agree with you.
It may be less defending, but it's more dangerous defending. So that's the other thing. That's the other side of the coin. So I get your point, but it's one side of it. And so far. Romero I haven't seen all of their games. I've only watched the United one, and I watched what was it the one I watched?
Oh, that was the best one.
Yeah, that
James
was the best one.
Why are you yelling at me in the comments? Look at
the
that.
only reason I watched the United one was because we were playing United, and I wanted to see where we could exploit them. So
I just think
showed you how to exploit them.
Yes, exactly, it did.
But the
thing is, the one thing I will say, credit to Ten Hag, is that he saw the weaknesses against Spurs and changed it. So fair play to him for that.
We played it much better against you guys versus
much
versus
better.
Spurs. I reckon if we played the same way versus Spurs, we would have won that.
Even if all the shit after the game was completely pathetic from Ten Hag, what he did in the game, I have to give him respect. He
Wait, what was pathetic? What was pathetic, Kerr?
Oh, come on, the whining, the constant, who says to a reporter, he didn't train well? You just say, I make the decision. Why are you calling out a player?
Thank you.
Like it's pathetic. I'm
Vern,
sorry.
you-
I don't mean to be rude, but that was actually pathetic.
Vern, I've barely worked with you. I think this might be the third stream that we do, but today you grew my eyes so much just for that comment, bro. Because a lot of people said you're defending Sancho, you're being a Sancho fanboy. I didn't even say anything. I'm not picking sides. All I said is just say no comment. You know how easy it is to say no comment. What do you think about?
Not even no comment. Not even no comment. Just say I made a decision. It's that simple. You don't have to even.
You don't have to exactly. And people saying you're being soft, bro. Just leave. Don't air our dirty laundry. That's all I'm asking.
Anyway, back to Spurs transfer window.
Yeah.
Back to Spurs transfer window. I'll just say, Alan. I think.
Surfer, don't talk to me like that.
I was just general. It's a general statement.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I think this team achievement rests on keeping Maddison fit. For me, he is.
Bissouma. Come on, don't mess up Bissouma.
No, because I think. Okay, but I think Maddison is like he'll be able to. He's the guy who, if Spurs are struggling, will have that moment, whether it's a pass or the goal or something like that, to unlock teams. I just think people are now gonna understand how good James Maddison is. The fact that my fan base were having legitimate conversations about saying Mount was as better than James Maddison is a disgrace. Okay, this guy, if you didn't look at his stats beforehand, it's like for 4 straight seasons creates the most chance of any English player. But now, especially now, if Ange sticks with the switch of putting Son in the middle, which is better, and you've got a Solomon, you've got a Kulusevski, you've got a Brennan Johnson, Spurs are going to score a lot. They might not keep a lot of clean sheets, but I think they will outscore.
That's what I miss. That this thing is right. I as an Arsenal fan, I don't like Spurs, but that's the Spurs I remember. You actually attack.
Yeah,
like
that's
Spurs, Conte, Mourinho, like these guys are not Spurs managers for me. Anyway, I don't know about you, Alan, but for me, that wasn't the Spurs I grew up on like as a rival. Like I always associated you guys with free flowing attacking football. It wasn't let's sit back and that's why a lot of your fan base I feel got frustrated.
Yeah. It was awful football, and like seeing a complete contrast from what Spurs have always been about is just attacking football. Obviously we've always had bad defense, so it's always been high scoring games, and we'll win some well, we'll lose some horrendously. But to go to absolute fossil football, sitting back, getting torn apart, and allowing people to come to our stadium and dominate the ball, and us just sit back and attempt to counter, it's just embarrassing. So yeah, never.
Speaking of doing what you're used to, spending a shitload of money is a Chelsea thing.
I want to hear this. What are you rating this window? Genuinely,
we all want to hear this. We all want to hear this. Chelsea Football Club. Before we start, as always, guys, make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you're subscribing right now. Go ahead, Winter Surfer. The floor is yours. Chelsea Football Club.
So this is just basically on the transfer window, okay? Nothing that's happened since, stuff like that. So when I came into this transfer window, I wanted to address 2 things. I wanted to get rid of a lot of deadwood because I didn't think we'd get rid of who we'd get rid of because I didn't think there was a market for some of these players because of how crap they were. And I wanted to address the midfield. So for me, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 for the window itself. That's what I'm giving it. Now, because I'm getting the incomings, a lot of the incomings have question marks over because I don't know how good they're going to be. The outgoings, I didn't think we'd get rid of Mount and Havertz, and then Manchester and Arsenal came along and took them off us, which I gladly accept. But the incomings, I wanted the midfield addressed. Caicedo was done, even though it took a long time to do. Lavia was a bonus that came in.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, no, there's not even throwing shade. It's generally we, as a fan base, we weren't talking about Lavia at all.
I was.
I know you were, but I'm talking about as we were we had one focus. I told Sam this multiple times.
What an unnecessary dig, that's what it is.
But for me,
no, but you remember, Sam, when we were having the Caicedo debate, I always thought they'd go and get Lavia. I didn't think you'd go, and because the thing is, I felt that the Brighton negotiations weren't going to pan out because of the way both sides were upset about Colwill and all these other things. So I thought Lavia would be the one that you picked up. Sorry.
No, I've already told us this multiple times. I think Chelsea's transfer window for incomings was Caicedo, and that's it, and anything else was a bonus. And we just took the opportunity to sign Lavia. So, with that said, like I said, there's question marks over most of these players. That's why I only give it a 7 because of that. If I was to give it just for outgoings, it'd be a 10. But I can't do that because the incomings, there's too many question marks. I like Sanchez, the goalkeeper. He's not the best, but I would always try and sign a goal. I would have gone and signed a Magnon, a Diego Costa, something like that. I would have done that because I think the goalkeeper is so important. And you notice the same. Alisson literally is the sole reason you finished 5th last year for me. He should have been.
And Salah, a little bit.
Yeah, okay. But Alisson really, in the early parts of the season, before Salah, before they actually moved Salah into his rightful position, instead of sticking him on the right wing like he did in the early part. But I think a goalkeeper is so important to building a side. It helps the defense and so forth and so forth. So I think that's why for me it's a 7 out of 10. I originally earlier put another stream earlier this week I put 8 out of 10, but then just thought about it. It's actually a 7 for me because of that. The outgoings were great. We had to get rid of a lot of deadwood. I thought we got rid of a lot of deadwood last summer. No, there was more deadwood under the deadwood. Everyone's gone that I wanted them to go, whether it's on loan. We kicked it down a year. At least we're not paying them this year.
Chilwell?
Or renegotiated. Now, that's the thing about Chilwell is this. I don't think it's fair to criticise Chilwell when you're playing him in a position he's not supposed to be playing in. Right? I don't think it's fair.
I think the way you're playing is dumb. Let me not lie.
No, I don't know. But that's why. This is a separate thing from the transfer window, right?
Yeah.
This is just separate. What I'm saying is...
No, I know. But I'm just saying, if you're going to keep Chilwell to play as a left midfielder, it just makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense because we've got players who can play that. So it doesn't make any sense. And that's a separate subject. But now afterwards, I would have gone... It's only because I would have got another striker. I would have got Vlahovic. I don't care what anyone says. I would have got Vlahovic. I would have got... I would have gone for best goalkeepers in the world. I would have gone that. And looking at the situation, I would have got a left back. I just would have got a left back. I don't count Gusto in this window because we signed him in January and loaned him out. So he doesn't count for this window whatsoever. And I forgot. We signed in Cuckoo. Fantastic. Looks a fantastic player. But we don't know how good he's going to be till February at the earliest, right? January, February. So we missed him. So most of the incomings have question marks over them. So I can't give it any higher than a 7 for me because I include the outgoings and the incomings. So,
Surfer, I've got to ask you a question that you're a little bit more level-headed than your fellow Chelsea fans.
I'll try to.
Let's speak about these death row contracts for just a quick second.
Okay.
So, a club is considered successful if they get 50% of their transfers right. So if they go like 5 from 10, that's considered successful on a transfer perspective. It's normal for any transfer to either work or not work. It's just football. So they can't all work by definition. So, my brother, now, if one of these guys on these death row contracts don't work, who on earth is going to buy out their contracts? Have you ever asked yourself the question? So look at Mudryk, for example. Yeah. I think that's a realistic one. 2 years from now, he's still shit. You just want to sell him. Right. Who buys out that 5-year salary?
I don't know, but the thing is this, Sam. I would just look at how they got rid of the players this summer as well. I know they went on a length of contract, but what the money they've been able to get for some of these players, like a Mount, like a Havertz. If you remember, we didn't accept Arsenal's first offer for Havertz. They had to come back with a second offer for Havertz. They had to increase their offer overall for Havertz. Maybe not the base fee, but overall, they had to do that. So I don't know how they've. For me, I think I said this to you. I do not know how we were going to sell Mount and Havertz because I didn't. Especially, actually, Mount had more of a market because I know you didn't like it, but he was always linked to you before he moved to Manchester. But I thought there was no way we could ever get a market for Havertz because of the way we talked about him, the way he'd been playing.
But this is the thing: how you talk about a player makes no difference.
I know. But I'm just in our heads, we're looking at it and going. I'm looking at a player and looking and going. If I was a club outside, looking how high Havertz plays, and I know ego's involved, and that's why for me, Arteta's a vanity signing, as we've said, an ego signing.
No, but the thing
I
is,
don't know
it's
how,
not,
though,
as
you
someone
look
in the
at-
comments has just mentioned, it's not just us that were in for him. We had to
No,
raise
no.
our offer
Real Ma-
because of
but Real Madrid,
Bayern
yeah,
and because of Madrid.
But Real Madrid were in for him, but they stopped at going anywhere past 50.
Because, you know,
Million
I know,
overall.
but the thing is, they stopped it because they talked to the player and the
Mm.
player said, I wanted to go to Arsenal.
That's fine. That's
That's why.
My main point was, though, that for me, the way I'd been seeing Havertz for 3 years, I didn't think there would be a market.
No,
for
I
him.
understand, but I'm just saying to you that there was definitely a market.
Oh no! Now I know there was, but like for us, because we're so insular in our own club's bubble, we sometimes don't, outside when like with you talking about your clubs and your outgoings, you must think that how are we going to get rid of some of these players because of the way they play or the way they have been playing and stuff like that. But to go to your original question, Sam, the difference is the length for the contracts. You're right. How do they get rid of someone who's got 4 or 5 years left on his contract? That's going to be the fascinating thing for me. Do I think they could do something? I wouldn't put it past them because I didn't think they'd spend this money. I didn't think they were ready to recruit this money for these players. So I wouldn't put it past them whatsoever. But like you said, it would be for me. I don't know how they do it.
The one thing that concerns me, like not even concerns me, just as an outsider, that I can't wrap my head about. I just feel like you bought Caicedo, I just don't think he's a 6, man. I really don't. And that's the thing that I've always like when we wanted him, I wanted him to play with Rice because I thought Rice would be the 6. I've never thought Caicedo, and we've seen it like I'm not just saying this to be for the band. I'm saying this. We've seen him be loose in possession sometimes in transition. Forest call as an example. The game against West Ham, he was still struggling to get to grips, so that's not really a thing. He's not been match fit, so I understand that. But the thing with me is, I feel like you're making him a 6 when he's more of a like a 6'8", a bit more advanced, and that's the same with Enzo as well. And you haven't got a 10. So it's sort of like 3 6'8s all playing together, and there's no real 10. So that's why I'm a bit confused about the midfield for me.
Well, I think that's where someone like Lavia comes into it. I know people.
Yeah, he's also another 6'8ish mid, kind of in between the two.
I think Lavia might be something. Do you remember when John Obi Mikel signed for us?
Mm-hmm.
And we signed him, and he played majority defensive midfielder for us, but he played like a 10 for Nigeria or something like that. It might be somewhere it's more of a hybrid. I'm starting to think that most of the modern day players now have to be a hybrid player. They have to learn at least 2 positions. But we've seen it with Pep squads, right?
Yeah, but
Pep squad has like most of the players can do 2 positions.
But the one position that he has that
right,
is specialist is Rodri.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like I said, I agree. I agree to some point with what you're saying. It'll be fascinating to see how it works out, whether he plays all 3. Everyone was going, oh yeah, well we're going to play Nkunku in the 10. Part of pre-season, he actually played out on the left wing and drifted in.
Yeah. So but the thing is, Carney's played at the 10 as well. So there are players that can play there. But I just feel like what if you're going to spend all this money? Surely you balance the profiles. Surely you get a starting 10, a starting 8, and a starting 6. Like surely that is the plan.
I think it's the way. Yeah, it's like I say, it's up to the manager and now to mold them into what he wants and what it is. I just hope he stops playing Chilwell on the left wing for starters. But for me, I would have gone as great as I think. As good as I think Nick Jackson has been impressive. I still would have gone with another. I would have got another striker because I would have had Jackson bed in more. I would have him start.
Genuinely, I could see him playing behind a striker.
Well, he did play wide for Villarreal. He has played wide also for Villarreal. So maybe he could do that left-hand side and then... Because I
just feel like you've spent so much money on 2 players in Caicedo and Enzo, and I just don't think they fit together. That's just me personally. I just don't see the defensive work rate there and the defensive awareness to be in a pivot together.
I think Caicedo's got that defensive awareness. We've seen.
Yeah, but the point, my point is,
as well against.
He's playing a right back as well. But my thing is quite simple. I think that he's great in terms of being able to play those wall passes into centre back. He's great with being able to dictate in the first phase. But the thing is, when you look at the positional awareness and defensive awareness higher up the pitch, where he was at Brighton, he wasn't the 6-6, was he? He was in a pivot. He was a bit higher in the pivot when he'd be in now, where he's clearly the 6. The positional awareness is different because you need to be able to be more aware defensively in terms of transition wise, which is what happened against Forest.
But this is where I asked to Sam this because they were in for both players as well.
Yeah.
So with Fabinho gone and Henderson gone, how would Klopp would have played? How do you think Klopp would have played either player in that midfield? It's not bantering, by the way. This is a genuine question because you were in for both players.
Lavia or Caicedo? Two different answers.
Okay, so let's go with Caicedo first. How do you think you would have played him in the midfield?
It would have been Caicedo and McAllister together with Szoboszlai ahead of them. That's what I think. And with Lavia, it would have been straight up 6. And it'll be Trent inverted. That's what I think. Okay. So I think it's two completely different scenarios, but they both would have played in defensive areas. But essentially, I think for both, not alone, but one with Trent alongside him, the other with McAllister alongside.
I'll tell you why. Because the thing is, Enzo and Caicedo and McAllister work together because McAllister was able to do the deep work in terms of first phase stuff, and that's what Enzo can do. But do you really want him to do that when he's much better at controlling from midfield in that second phase?
Well, that would be that, but you would see you would do that if you were playing a 10, right? You would do that. He would like whatever you want to do, a double pivot or whatever, or he moves a bit forward like that. You would do it. If you're asking, then if we're not playing a 10, then you'd ask Enzo to go a bit more. For me, he's the player. He's not going to be. For me, he's going to go down as like not have a great DNA. He's going to be the pass before the pass player.
Yeah,
so to speak, right? He's going to be like that. He's never going to be. You're never going to go. Oh yeah, Enzo versus Bruno Fernandes. Let's see who's got the greatest DNA. It's going to be a landslide.
Even with Odegaard, it's not the same thing. Odegaard has started making those GA conversations, but he's never really been the pure. It's more Fabio Vieira for us, the pure GA guy.
That's if we go with a 10. No Chelsea fan from the pre-season predicted that we would play with Chilwell, and that wasn't in the plans whatsoever.
Yeah, because Pochettino didn't do it either. That's the thing.
He didn't do it. He went he's gone completely opposite.
Complete AWOL.
It's like, okay, so were you then so reliant on Nkunku for your whole formation to work? Is that what you're saying? Because that's what it seems to me, and that's madness. No, you can't do that in this day and age. You can't.
Speaking of madness, what's this Madsen made it a 4 thing? The kickback has started.
Made it 4.
Isn't Madsen still there?
Yeah, he didn't move. Yeah, he didn't move. Yeah. Oh, are you talking about left?
Why are you saying Madsen made it 4 if he didn't move?
Madsen made it 4, the kickback. You'd have to put another message in. I don't know. Can you be more specific? I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean either, because Madsen didn't move there at the end.
Yeah, Habibi, let's talk your club because we haven't. I know we want.
Yeah, and listen, I don't want to keep the show going for too long. We'll probably give it 10 more minutes or so. So I want to hear you guys' opinions because my subscribers, they already know my opinion on Liverpool Football Club. So let's start with Karan, then take our way through the panel. So let's leave Liverpool be kind of the last topic of the stream. Like the video, guys. Subscribe to 100 likes. We're almost there. Karan, Liverpool Football Club, my brother. Talk to the people. What are you saying?
You've left it short, man. You've just left it short. It's that simple. There's no other way to put it. Is it the end of an era? It's just not. But it's not great, is it? It's just like I think that it's just God. It's not enough. Endo is. I don't know how he'll do, but I don't know the guy. I think he did a proper 6. Especially with Fabinho gone, Endo should have been like, he should be like an El Neni. You know what I mean? Like someone that you have around the squad that you can bring in if you really, really, really need to. But he's not a starter. And I think the midfield issues are going to be there. I think defensively, you need another centre back. I think a 5. Because the thing is, your midfield, the midfielders you brought in. Gravenberch, I don't think Gravenberch's a 6. Personally, he's never played there, so I don't know what the thinking is there. If he's going to play him, sort of like play McAllister 6, I don't know if that's the plan. I want to see how that works. He's a very good player. I will say that Ryan Gravenberch, he's a very good player. At Ajax, he was doing things that I really liked. But yeah, Szoboszlai I mentioned earlier in the stream, very good player. Very happy with that. As you mentioned in Twitter, the 8 has been restored. I think that's
the
a
pride.
very good signing. The pride of the 8 has been restored. Yeah, that's a good player. I wanted him badly, so I'm not going to begrudge you that. And McAllister as well, very good player. So, and got, as you like to say, for about 35p. So very, very happy with that for you guys. The Salah stuff is nonsense for me until I see an Ornstein, Fabrizio, or so. Not actually, screw Fabrizio. If it's Ornstein, then we'll start talking. But until that happens, it's fine. I think you're going to struggle in that top 4 race around that. I think that's the best way to put it. I think there's a lot of teams: United, Newcastle, Liverpool, maybe Spurs, Chelsea, are all vying for that top 4 sort of position. I think genuinely, I'm not trying to be big-headed, but I think that the top 2 are pretty much secure. Is anyone going to just differ from that? I don't think so. And then from 3rd to about 6th, 7th is up for grabs. So it'll be interesting. I don't think you've done enough. I think you had the potential to have a really, really, really good window, and you've left it short. So, and the same thing with us. We left ours short by 1 signing as well. So I can't be that harsh. But yeah, not the end of an era, but close to it at this point.
Winter Surfer. This is what Tom is saying before. Just address it quick. He refused to go back to Burnley at 31.5 million.
Yeah, we agreed a deal. He didn't want to go back. He didn't go. It's not like American sports where you can send someone halfway across the country without them knowing. It's not like that. So it's just one of those things. Yeah.
Imagine it was like American sports. Ian Matson has been traded to Burnley.
Yeah.
For cash considerations.
Ian Matson, from living in Florida, has been traded to Seattle, which is like totally just like that in like 1 hour. It's like, what? Like that. But no, I agree. I think you left it late. You divvied on Lavia too long. Even your free bids were below what I always say. It's a seller's market. It's a seller's market. You trying to get Lavia and then putting in bids, free bids that were lower than our first bid for Lavia, reportedly, was insane. And then you went off to try and hijack Caicedo and left Lavia in the dust. I will say this though, you've said it multiple times. You need at least 1 more centre back and probably a backup right back, right? With going forward. And because your attack, if you keep Salah as well, but your attack is, for me, the options in your attack is the best in the league, options wise, I believe. But like I said, Gravenberch is not a 6. I've not even watched Endo. At Liverpool, so I didn't watch him at Stuttgart. I don't watch Stuttgart games. No, I mean, no one watches.
No one did. And if any of my fan base pretended like they did, they're lying.
No, I find fascinating. I think I heard you say it earlier. Where does Thiago Alcantara fit in this now? I don't know where he fits now. Does he now change his game to be a lone 6? I don't think he could do it.
He just saves his soul for Arsenal games and then goes back to the injury table. That's what happens. Like, this guy is like Kevin De Bruyne
versus Liverpool. That's basically
yeah. It's just one of, I mean,
Kante was always fit for Liverpool and drops man of the match every time.
every time.
Thanks, N'Golo.
Alan will know this. It's like Alonso against Spurs. Alonso would just play shit for the entire season, and then the 2 games against Spurs, he ripped them to shreds. He totally destroyed them. He played like a man possessed. But no, I don't know what you get. What did you give your window? 5 or 6? Sam, what did you give it?
Me, I give it a 6. I'd say. We signed 4 8. We signed 3 8s. You know, so that's what helps. So we kind of signed like that entire kind of situation. We fixed it, but we did need a straight 6. But I think it's interesting to see what Liverpool do in the following days, because in this year, because it looks like they're not going to play with DM and defend by committee. That's basically.
I think you'll be like Spurs. I think you'll be like Spurs, in where you outscore more teams than not.
Yes, I think we're relying on our forward line 100%.
Yeah.
But the difference is our forward line is clear of Spurs. Now, speaking of Spurs, first of all, selection says accept it. Ringo announcer voice. I don't have to accept nothing. Listen, Karen's an Arsenal fan. He told you, bro. Listen, wait till Ornstein or Joyce or Fabrizio, one of these guys, or even at least a semi-respectable
Joyce,
report.
man.
And then we'll
Joyce is
speak.
Joyce, be real. Joyce is a PR, like he's just
Yeah, like he'd say
let's
the
be
truth.
real.
Like, come on, man, not some ITK like from Twitter. Come on, brother.
Just
Anyway,
just wait for Ornstein or the club. Apart from that, just forget it.
Simple question for selection: where's Kefren Turam? Anyway, Alan, I want to end with Alan on Liverpool because he's usually level-headed when it comes to my club because we're not rivals. So what's your thoughts on Liverpool's window?
Look, I'm level-headed when it comes to all of you. I'll just say, Staffy pulled a very Man United performance here tonight. Came in, gave it his best effort for quite some time, and then literally disappeared towards the end of the stream. So, congratulations to Staffy on that Man United performance. With Liverpool, your main problem last year was your midfield. No legs, no energy like that. We've got to wait and see if they all work or how they are. But it looks like you've addressed that. And although you've only got a small sample size, for me, you've got a better midfield than what you had last season. So that's a plus. Your attacking line was really good anyway. For me, it depends. I don't think you've got any backup or you haven't improved on your defense, which I think you could have done. That's where I think you might come unstuck. Similar to Spurs, but you had better quality at the back anyway than we did anyway. So, yeah, overall, I don't think your window was that bad. It's all depending whether those midfielders work together. And at the moment, I mean, let's take a look at what you've seen this season. You held your, like, you hung in there against Newcastle and turned it around. Darwin Nunez, hello, like coming out of nowhere with like just hitting it. And then you dismantled Aston Villa quite easily. So I think Liverpool's window is better than people give it credit for. But I think you'll come unstuck because you didn't improve the back line. If you can address it in December and or January transfer window, and you've had a decent start, you're there or thereabouts for challenging for the title, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it might be a bit too late by then, but we should address this May transfer. And I do agree with.
Still there, if you're there or thereabouts and you improve.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I agree with what Alan said completely. That's just the one thing that takes it away from this window. For me, I've always said there's just two things: remove Endo from this team, put in a proper DM, and get in a centre back. And suddenly, this whole window is different, and everyone and ourselves are looking at each other differently. So, yeah, I mean, look, we aired City because no one cares about City. That's why we aired City. We spoke about the 5 actual clubs that people care about because it's like, yay, City spend money, who cares? So we're going to wrap it up here. Big up to Selection, big up AJ, Tom, big up to Brazy, Andy. Brazy, send me that clip. Big up to V1, big up to Joe, big up to the 2 Davids, big up to BIG, Ilias, and Waves for the super chats. Big up to you guys. Make sure you're all slapping the like button. Make sure you're all subscribing to the channel. We're approaching 200 likes, so get us there before the end of the stream. And remember, tomorrow at 10 p.m. UK time, inshallah, or 11, I'm going to check with Lewis. We've got the A-listers, ladies and gentlemen. So that show is going to be one hell of a show because United lost and Chelsea lost. So get your popcorn ready. We're going to go around the lovely panel. They're going to let you know where you can find them. Karen, my brother, thank you so much for joining us. As per usual, great show from you. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Current BAP on Twitter. You can find me at Ball Over Passion on the YouTube, and follow us at BAP Footy on the Twitter. Lovely show, guys. Lovely speaking to all of you, and appreciate it.
Always welcome, Karen, man. Man like Andrew, where can people find you, my brother?
You're going to find me in this chat bullying people if we don't get over 200 likes, over 200 people there, freeloaders. But, you know, like and share the video. Subscribe to this channel, more importantly. Follow everyone here. Follow me at The Winter Surfer. I'll usually tweet out what if I'm on a stream, if I'm not on a stream. I'm mostly on Casually FC. There's majority of Chelsea streams, so just just follow that. Otherwise, you'll catch me on Sarcasm City, Carefree Lewis, sometimes a Terrace, sometimes that. But yeah, just catch me about and just like subscribe.
Big up to you, man, Andrew. Big up to you, Andy. I can't believe you bullied Andy to send the £2 super chat.
I never asked. For my defense, I never asked them to send super chats.
That's fair. That's fair. But he decided to pay a £2 rent.
He's
so
good. He's good.
Yeah, respect, Andy. Alan, where can we find you, my brother? I'm surprised you didn't plug yourself in 15,000 times this stream. Fairs.
I'm more modest these days. Yeah, no. People can find me on my channel on YouTube, Time Added On, talking mainly Spurs, but also when the season goes, like we had a Man United preview and review show that Stavy didn't show up for the review show because they got whooped. But as the season goes on, I'll be doing ones with Arsenal, with Chelsea, with Liverpool. So you might see some of these fine fellows on my channel talking everything about the games coming up. We shall see. Daily content over there now. Hassam told me consistency is key, and Hassam is correct. The only thing that's not correct about Hassam this evening is that goddamn American accent. Just drop it. It's just no. Yeah.
And speaking of the American accent, make sure you go subscribe to all these great guys' channels. It's literally been like a pleasure working with these guys. So please like and subscribe. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, inshallah. See you guys later.
That's a -1 out.